Everybody ready for the second half of our Spring Summit Day 1? I hope you all had a great morning with our supply chain and logistics program, and we have a busy afternoon prepared for you with the soft launch of our sustainability track, as well as our startups from our new materials and packaging vertical. And I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see a lot of our startups and some new faces. So thank you very much for being here, taking the time from your busy agendas at work, and coming in, showing your support to us, especially our partners in the new materials and packaging vertical. My name is Omer Gozin. I am the head of our new materials and packaging vertical globally. So with that, what do we do in our vertical? So we're currently a 2.5-year-old vertical, relatively new at Plug and Play, but we are growing at a great speed. And the startups we have, we're currently running and graduating our batch number 5 today, are all fantastic startups. They are looking forward to sharing their journey the past 3 months with us at Plug and Play. So again, thank you very much for your support. And before we start, I would like to thank everybody that made this event possible. Putting together an event like this with this magnitude is not easy. So I would like to thank my team in the new materials and packaging vertical, Lauren, our community manager, our ventures associates, Tulsi and Ariel, who made possible to have simultaneous deal flows for our partners who would like to see startups on a private session. So I would like to thank all of them, as well as our events and operations team here too. So with that said, what I would like to go into is immediately every batch, the 3-month period that we accelerate our startups. This is not our program. This is our corporate's program. We do this for you guys, for our anchor partners like ExxonMobil, PepsiCo. We have Sherwin-Williams. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it to the expo today. But every other partner that we have, Dow, Covestro, USG, Owens, Illinois, and Georgia Pacific that I'm seeing, and because of the lights are in my face. But so. This is your program. We go out and find technology based on your immediate business challenges. So in the end, what do we get in return? What do our startups get in return? The opportunities to connect with you, collaborate with you in terms of proof of concept studies or pilot projects or licensing, anything that is imaginable for these guys to make it in whatever they're working on. So it's extremely important for us that we recognize the work that our champions from our corporates that put into working with our startups. So it is our tradition to select one corporate, although every one of you are doing phenomenal things with our startups. And thank you very much for that support. But every batch, we select one corporate who stands out, that have done the most amount of studies with our startups and shown the most amount of support and dedication to them. So with that said, before we announce this batch's corporate award winner, I would like to welcome our CEO, Mr. Saeed Hamidi, to the stage to announce the winner for this batch. Saeed?
Hi, thank you. You should stay here with me. If I can say, some of you were here earlier for supply chain and logistic, and this new material and packaging is close to my heart. We have been involved with actually milk and juice packaging for over 35 years. And then through that, I got into a bottled water business, which we sort of bottle the water and distribute it. But we try to be as ecological as possible. So we use on average our bottles for about 100 trips. And after 100 trips, we actually recycle the polycarbonate bottle. So we recycle it and it goes into different hard products. So it is really close to our heart, this material and packaging. And then again, sustainability is the subject of the day. I have changed my middle name, so it's like Saeed Sustainability Amidi. So anything I do will include sustainability in it. And we are really, maybe Omar can give you a little bit more detail. But with that, we love to invite Avery Dennison to accept the award. And I learned this from Mercedes. One time they gave me an innovation award, and it was very special. So I turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Saeed. As we said, Avery Dennison has been an important part of our journey for our Batch 5 startups. And who do we have here? Max Winograd. He is the Director of Business Development. And Pradeep Iyer, he is the Research Fellow. So we're both science nerds, so we get along really well. We were actually doing some hands-on work. And I would like to also say that if you haven't already seen, on the second floor, they're doing a joint demo with our excuse me, Panasonic. So make sure that you stop by after this session as well. With that said, I would like to give this award to Pradeep and Max for their contributions to our batch number 5. And with that said, maybe a couple of minutes of Avery Dennison and what you've been doing with our startups and why this journey is important to you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess this is the part I say, hi, Mom. But this is really a great pleasure to receive this award, and I'll tell you why. Both of us are serial entrepreneurs. I did this about 20 plus years back, and Max just exited just a few months back. And so getting an award here and being in Plug and Play is pretty special. For me, because I'm 20 years in the corporate world, what I have found in the last year listening to startups is absolutely the rational exuberance, the energy of people who are half my age and ready to change the world is just very, very infectious. So really hoping that we can bring this back, the spirit, into the mothership and develop. So. And I'll give this to, and also I really want to thank the Plug and Play staff. You guys are just awesome. So thank you very much, Omer.
Thanks, Pradeep. And thank you, Plug and Play, for this award. This really is an honor, and I think really it highlights the value that Plug and Play can provide to corporate partners and provides to Avery Dennison in helping us learning about new opportunities, whether it's business models or technologies. And then it's an opportunity to kind of bring the best of both worlds together, which is that large company scale with that startup agility. And that's on display right now in the Panasonic showcase, where you can actually see an example of an Avery Dennison pilot turned investment through Plug and Play that's now showcased with a partnership with Panasonic. And that's the Gauzy film that we call Vela that is being showcased right now. So that's the way that we can, as corporates, really leverage Plug and Play to really drive our own agendas of strategic growth, while then also leveraging the startup agility to get access to great technology and really transform our own businesses. And so I really encourage you guys to really step up, because at Plug and Play, you get out of it the amount that you put into it. And that isn't just the capital investment, but the amount of time that you're physically here is directly related to the amount of value that you'll extract as a corporate partner. So thanks again, Omer, Mike, Saeed, Sina, Lauren, Tulsi, everyone that's been an amazing part of this for us, and we look forward to continue to engage with Plug and Play in years to come.
Thank you very much, Max and Pradeep. We look forward to even extending our collaboration with you guys in the upcoming batches too. Very happy to have you guys with us. Every morning before I come to work, when I wake up, it actually takes a moment for me to realize that I have been collaborating, well, as a team, we have been collaborating with the biggest conglomerates, biggest companies in the world, like the ExxonMobils of this world, Dow Chemical, the Clorox Company, in Owens, Illinois, USG, Covestro, Georgia Pacific, and Gentex Corporation, Vitro. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. Like, every once in a while, you have to just, like, take a step back, and you need to understand, what actually we're doing here. And yeah, we are a venture capital firm and a startup accelerator, but with you guys, we exist. So we really thank you for the support for our new materials and packaging vertical. Before we move on to the next session in our agenda, we opted out not to bring in a keynote speaker. We go and you're going to be hearing many more keynote speakers throughout the next 3 days in the other verticals as well. But instead of that, what we would like to do is we would like to have a new partner recognition ceremony. And I think we're going to turn this into a tradition because, again, we exist because of our corporate partners. So with that said, in the last few months, since our last expo, we have 6 global corporates joined us, and I would like to take a moment and recognize each of them with our champions. So the first one is Covestro LLC. Our champion is the head of innovation management, Mr. Curry Crookston. The company is this provider of manufacturer of high-tech polymer solutions. So I would like to bring Curry on the stage and then maybe say a few words while I'm handing this frame to you, letter to you for appreciative of your support in us.
Thank you, Omer. It's kind of interesting for me because I've only been in my job now for 10 months, and prior to that, I spent the last 13 years as an entrepreneur. So it's kind of interesting being on the side where I'm giving out money versus asking for money. And I do have a lot of empathy for the guys that are in the room that are asking for money because I remember being there. Covestro is essentially used to be bare material science, and we spun out, and our CEO likes to call us the 80-year-old startup. So we're a startup, and having been a startup guy, I'd say we sometimes move like an 80-year-old man or woman, but we're trying to pick up some speed, and it's really been fortunate for us to be able to involve here. We've met a lot of good companies, and I think there's a lot of things we can do together to help us solve our problems and also make people successful.
Thank you very much, Curry. Great to have you in the team. Second up is CRH from Atlanta, Georgia. CRH is the largest manufacturer of building materials. And we have Dan Krenbrink. He's this Senior Vice President of Development and Strategy. I think he's running into some airport issues. So is Adam Casey here? Yes. Yes, Dan is back here. Welcome, Dan. Thanks. So can I bring you up on stage, please? With Casey. So I know that you just walked in, but this is our new partner recognition ceremony that in the last 6 months, I just explained to our audience that we've been engaged in a partnership, and I would like to present to you this letter as an appreciation from our vertical, and I would like to take a couple of words from you.
Great. Thanks, Omer. I appreciate it. So I'm Dan Krenbrink. I'm with CRH, which is an Irish company. We used to be known as Oldcastle here in the U.S., but we're sort of rebranding ourselves with the global parent company, CRH. So we're just starting a corporate venture capital initiative where we've been at it, well, we're going on a year now, just trying to understand the landscape and look at new building products and new materials and new things that might help our manufacturing operations and what have you. But we're very much focused in the building products sector, so not a very sexy industry, but one that we think can still very much benefit from a lot of what's going on out here in Silicon Valley. So thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Gentex Corporation from Zeeland, Michigan. They're the Tier 1 suppliers to the auto industry. And we have Matt Scheido, is the Vice President of Sales. Matt? Would you like to have a few words?
Sure. So Gentex Corporation isn't a household name. We're a technology company located on the west side of the state of Michigan. We participate in 3 main verticals today. We have a commercial fire protection group, an aerospace group, which makes the windows for the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. You may have flown on one of those. And we have our automotive group. Our automotive group is the largest part of the company. We supply over 40 million auto-dimming mirrors to the global market. 1 out of every 3 cars in the world has a Gentex product on it that's manufactured each year. We have some interesting products like our HomeLink product, which is on 50% of the cars that are sold in North America. Our new full display mirror products. Some of our other new technologies we're getting into is our HomeLink Connect app, our integrated toll module, and the list goes on and on. So what's Gentex looking for from Plug and Play? We're looking to find partners that will help us grow and extend the markets that we're in today, and then also allow us to breach out into new verticals. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Not a day goes by that I wake up and I don't see a Gentex success story posted on social media. So definitely I would recommend following Matt on LinkedIn for those stories. Thank you, Matt. So the next one is Jim DeAndreth from Georgia Pacific, from Atlanta, Georgia. Jim, I'm going to really put you on spot here, so come up here. So, again, I think when we think of a champion from a corporation, I think Jim is a great example of that one because he's proven that he's really engaged in our program. We're getting a lot from him, asking a lot from him, and he's doing a lot without asking, actually, so which we really appreciate. In 2 months through the program, he not only engaged his core business in new materials and packaging with us, but also he engaged their supply chain group. He engaged also their retail group. So holistically, the company is very well embedded in the innovation strategy and very well plugged in to Plug and Play. So we really appreciate that, Jim. Thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you. Georgia Pacific is really excited about being a corporate partner with Plug and Play, so thank you, Mayor. One of the things we believe by working with Plug and Play is that we can really get a unique opportunity to stay abreast of some of the emerging trends, to be able to advance our corporation, our corporate innovation portfolio, and also be able to accelerate commercialization of step change and disruptive innovation. So we're really excited about that. As the Mayor was saying, just in the last 6 months, we've engaged with quite a few of the startups and early stage companies here. They brought some really interesting and new technologies to us. We've been able to share some of the biggest challenges that we're struggling with in Georgia Pacific. And so we're looking at that as a great way to cooperate and move forward. So we're really looking forward to moving forward with you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Looking forward to our collaboration in the future. Next up, we have Ludovic Vellet from Owens, Illinois. He is the Vice President of Global R&D. And we just started our relationship, so let's see what he is expecting from us in the next upcoming months.
A lot is the answer.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm Ludovic Vellet from Owens, Illinois. You may not know this company, but we are the largest producer of glass packaging in the world. So producing glass bottles and glass jars, producing a lot of them. Actually about 45 billion a year. If you put them side by side, that's enough to go to the moon and back 5 times. We are still a very young company, 115 years old, young company, and because of his maturity, we do want to start thinking about agility in a different way. And that's the reason why we are joining Plug and Play, to basically get access to this entrepreneurial mindset that after more than 100 years, we may have forgotten. So very excited to be here, very pleased with what I'm seeing. And well, that's the beginning of a long story, I hope.
Delighted to have you here. Thank you, Ludovic. Congratulations. Last but not least, we have Ivan Nesterenko from Tetra Pak, one of the largest packaging solutions providers from Lund, Sweden. So he's the Vice President of Product Management cross Portfolio. Ivan, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, just a few more words about Tetra Pak. We are not only one of the biggest packaging suppliers, but as well food processing technology. And of course, our vision is to commit to making food safe and available everywhere. So the key words for us is food safety, quality, and sustainability for our customers, which is as I learned, the middle name of your CEO. So, of course, what we see that digital technologies and new startups can bring a lot into food safety, quality, and sustainability, but as well into consumers and customers' experience. So we want really to help our customers to drive this digital transformation to get much more from our industry than it is today, as we still see that our food industry is still very traditional. So that's what we expect, to have more partnerships. But of course, what I get personally is a lot of inspiration and youth and agility here. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Very happy to have you in our family. Thank you. So next, I think Ivan made a great introduction to the next topic, and it's sustainability. So at Plug and Play, we have been working towards understanding what sustainability means, not only for us, but most importantly for our corporate partners for the world. So I know that sustainability has been on your radar for a long time. So is it in ours. So what is it? Okay. So we've been defining what sustainability means for Plug and Play. As you can see on the slide that I have in the back, that was prepared by one of my colleagues. I would like to give a shout out to Isabel. She joined us from Amsterdam. She is the director of our Amsterdam office, Fashion for Good, Sustainable Fashion with CNA Foundation. And I have a couple more colleagues that I would like to note. Is Wade here? I cannot see Wade. Wade Bitaraf is our director of our Energy and Sustainability vertical with myself. And we have one more colleague, so our fourth team member, Brittany Salas. She's the program director of our Plug and Play Berlin office. We have been tasked to identify how we can build a sustainability program, a track that will tap into a lot of industries. So when we talk about sustainability, we know that it's about renewable energy, reduction in the use of raw materials, water efficiency, improving your manufacturing processes, food and agriculture. So we have been working towards how we can understand, we could collaborate on a broader level and not only but in sustainable fashion and recycling, but also in other areas as well. The reason why we've been plugged in with Europe is we believe that Europe has been a little bit ahead of us, ahead of the US in terms of the regulations. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but recently EU came up with a sustainability report, a strategy report around circular economy. China used to buy a lot of plastic waste from EU, and now they stopped buying it. So what's going to happen to that? Like, are we ready for it? Our infrastructure, is it ready for it? So how do we deal with the natural resources, like avoiding the depletion of those? So that's why we're going to be reaching out to, as we craft this program and our product, we will be having detailed discussions with many of you that are in the audience. So feel free to send an email to me, and otherwise I will be reaching out to you to actually understand what sustainability means to each one of you. So with that said, today we're going to be doing a quick soft launch with startups that we currently have that have been efforts and solutions in the sustainability space. Again, this is a broad spectrum, so the next half an hour or so, before we go deep into our batch with our new materials and packaging vertical, I would like to, one by one, invite here 7 startups to give their quick pitches and talk about their companies. So with that said, I would like to welcome our first startup, Pulpworks. You might recognize Paul from our previous batch, number 4. He was here, and we'd love to have him around, not only because, he's really famous on the internet, right? How many views so far on your TED Talk, Paul?
1.6 million.
1.6 million. That's a great number. We'd love to hear that. Okay, 1.639. That's even getting better. So with that said, I would like to give the stage to Paul and talk about Paul works around sustainability.
Good afternoon. So we are Pulpworks. I'm going to really speak fast. 3 minutes is a very short time. We are Pulpworks, designers and manufacturers of sustainable packaging. So it's appropriate that we fit in between the sustainability and the packaging segment of this event today. It's myself and my partner, Elena Olivar, who's in the audience today. I don't think I have to tell you about the world is reaching a pretty critical point in plastic pollution. That's me locally. CO2 in the atmosphere. Sustainable packaging is growing rapidly, 7.7 compounded annual growth rate. It's a great industry. And plastic packaging is increasing as well, which is going to be a tragedy for us. Some really quick facts and figures about us. We're founded in 2011. We're self-funded. We have zero debt. Our revenues have doubled every year. We have some marquee customers, Google, Campbell Soup, BASF, to name a few. We outsource our manufacturing to partners around the world. We have an R&D partner locally here at San Jose State University, as well as the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. We have a patent for a replacement for the dreaded plastic blister pack, and we have several more patents that we hope to file for this year. We've been in the press over 60 times since our founding, and we've won more than 20 awards. And I gave a TED Talk, as I said, last year. Some of our projects, past and present. Some of the raw materials that we work with, primarily sugarcane, AKA bagasse, bamboo, cotton, and fairly soon, cocoa bean husks. Oh, wow, 1 minute left. Here's some examples of our packaging. Here's our patented replacement for the blister pack, electronics packaging, cotton packaging, sugarcane packaging, pizza packaging, Christmas ornaments, all with sustainable, compostable sugarcane and other cellulosic material. Medical packaging in India, yes, I see. Electronics packaging, our press coverage, our awards, my TED Talk. 1.6 million people have tuned in to watch me on TED. I never thought that would happen. But it just gives you an idea of the timeliness of this subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul. So next up, we have another batch startup from one of our previous batches, Verdiscam, a toxicology platform. I think this could really fit in with the sustainability discussions that we've been having with our corporate partners. So with that said, I would like to invite Neelam to the stage.
So, thank you very much. So my name is Neelam Vaidya. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Verdiscam. This is my third successful startup. And we are building a powerful SaaS AI software platform for toxicity evaluation of chemicals, formulations, processes, everything. And we already got the United Nations recognition as the company with the most influential products for sustainability. Quick summary, we have built the world's largest toxicity database. Our AI-driven SaaS platform offers accurate toxicity of every chemical and formulations. We have validated our business model and pricing strategy by having the pilot licensing at key customer sites. And we are finalizing partnerships and distribution in US, Europe, and Japan. We have received one of the first corporate customers with $5 million per year revenue. And we are expected to be cash positive by end of 2018 with a revenue of $150,000 expected by 2021. So what are we solving? Strict global regulations, litigation risk, as well as the cost-cutting pressure has created an urgent need for toxicity information, not just for the end product, but also the starting material. But 80% of the, or 0.1% of the chemical information is available, toxicity information. And the material data sheets, 80% of either not accurate or incomplete. So Viridiscam offers real-time toxicity evaluations of every chemical, even the new molecules, and formulations. And using that information, we also provide process information. For consumer goods, we offer formulation information that can be certified, and reports can be distributed to the manufacturers, and without providing the information on the raw material. And our uniqueness, proprietary AI-powered algorithms, patent-pending technology, world's largest toxicity database, and we are the only company that's offering the toxicity evaluation, general purpose products. And our team is has in-depth knowledge of the subject matter. These are our current customers, and we are hoping to have them as corporate customers this year. And these are the companies that we are talking, these are the key companies that we are talking to. We have already established the partnerships and distribution with a couple of companies, and we are now talking to Merck Sigma-Aldrich for global distribution. And we are looking for seed funding and hope to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neelam. It's always great to see the traction of our previous batch startups. With that said, I would like to welcome our third startup, Flow Labs, and Jimit on stage.
Thanks, Amir. Hi, my name is Jimit Shah. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Flow Labs. We help buildings make smarter decisions about their water consumption. It's not an unknown problem here. Leaks is massive when it comes to economical damage, but also there's structural damages, reputational damages that go along with it for building owners and operators. A lot of this is avoidable. This is the situation of current water monitoring. All of the water monitoring happens manually for the most part, using water meters that are installed by the city meters or by the bills that you get once a month, once every other month. We would like to change that with sensors, software, and insights. Let me give you a quick glimpse of how we would do that. First, we'll go into the building, take a look at all your building assets, your plumbing, understand what are the places that you'd like to protect, what is the information you'd like to get from your water, and we'll install sensors accordingly within the buildings. We have a mix of proprietary and off-the-shelf sensors that would install. All that data will be collected to our cloud. So keep in mind, we're also installing an IoT infrastructure within the buildings. The data is collected, and within the cloud, there's two key things we're looking for from a water standpoint. One's from a consumption standpoint, we're looking for efficiency, and second is alerts, so you can identify leaks ahead of time before it gets to critical damages. Then you look at the patterns and data in nice dashboard that you probably may not have seen for your water consumption before. And then finally, here's a quick example of a building where we installed sensors. We went in, we installed some sensors early February. Within a couple of days, we saw a 1 gallon per minute leak happening within the building consistently. We identified it, sent alerts, and helped the building operators understand what the leaks were. They fixed it, and then at number 5, you can see the average drops down. So this is what we'd like to do for all the buildings, United States and globally. So today, we believe that with our solution, we can help buildings save about 15 to 20% on efficiency, but it's where the leaks are. We can drastically make a difference. Just to give you an idea, this is a pricing model we're going for. It's 10 cents per square foot. And currently, we're targeting office buildings, as well as we have plans for residential buildings, retail buildings, and corporates. Besides the sensors and the data, we will be providing managed services efficiency recommendations, so all the $100,000 in efficiency upgrades that you make. I'm not sure if you're getting feedback on how those are performing, but we can help with M&V on the water side. Connect third parties, such as building automation systems, and then finally reporting for your sustainability metrics. We're a team of engineers. Both Nishant and I are the co-founders from Texas Instruments, and our software engineer has about 25, 30 years of building scalable backend infrastructure. And with that, we're Flow Labs, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jimit. Our fourth startup is Cruise Foam, and I'd like to invite Marco.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm Marco Rolandi. I'm the co-founder and director of Cruise Foam, and today we're going to talk about our efforts in making sustainable foam. If you've seen the news a couple of weeks ago, there was some bad news about the environment. The Pacific Garbage Patch is now twice the size as Texas. The Pacific Garbage Patch has plastics and foams floating in the ocean between Hawaii and here. There's all this foam that gets disposed from our landfills and whatnot and floats in the water. Our mission at Cruise Foam is to put an end to this environmental catastrophe. The way we're going to do this, we upcycle shrimp shell or seafood waste into a sustainable foam that is compostable. So instead of going to the Pacific Garbage Patch, our foam can go into the garden, into a compost bin, and can be used to actually fertilize your garden. How do we do this? What's our secret sauce? There's about 30 million tons a year of seafood being fished out of the ocean. Out of these 30 million tons, 10 million tons are waste. They're the shells. And this is not the seafood that you get the waste bin at the restaurant. These are very large operations, for example, from places where they freeze the seafood. Out of these 30 million tons, about 1 ton a year is chitin. Chitin is the second most abundant polysaccharide after cellulose. Cellulose is a major component of wood. What we do, we take this chitin, it comes into a powder form, costs about $1,000 a ton. We have a secret sauce to transform it into a product that we can sell as much as $50,000 a ton, with a process which is environmentally friendly, does not create additional VOCs, and creates a foam which is as good as styrofoam or better. This is an example of Cruise Foam. We have different strengths. We have different types of making it. We have different scales. We can address different types of markets. Specifically, the markets we're looking at right now is sub-segment of the marine market, and then we're going to go into sustainable packaging. The sub-segment we chose is actually surfboards. Surfboards are close to our heart in Santa Cruz. That's where we're based. It may look like a small market, but there's a very high customer demand. There's a very, very high potential for profit because we can sell $2 or $3 worth of raw material for more than $100. And there's low barrier to entry. We can start with direct sales in Santa Cruz immediately and then scale globally. Our second market is sustainable packaging. Specifically, what we're going to look at are coolers for cold chain delivery. These include food as well as pharmaceuticals, where other sustainable alternatives are very good, but are not as good as us. We have a very good team. Initial to myself, the CEO and founder, John Feltz, is an expert in these type of foams, as well as Shaolin Zhang. She was a PhD student in my lab. We are a very tech-heavy team. We're actually looking for additional expertise on the business side of things. We're currently raising a seed round. If anybody's interested in working with us, I'll be delighted to talk to you later. We're Cruise Foam, from the ocean, for the ocean. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. It's great to see that everybody is trying to contribute to the reduce the impact that we have on our environment. With that said, I would like to welcome our fifth startup. It's TVM Company Limited, also known as Limex Dye.
Paper. We all use this every day, but did you know it's not sustainable? In order to produce 1 ton of paper, it requires 100 tons of water as well as 20 trees. That's a lot. And do we have a solution for that? You bet we do. Limex. Limex is limestone-based new material made with no water, no treat. Next question is it better than traditional paper we have? You bet. It is much more durable and much more waterproof. And beyond paper, we can use this material for something like plastic alternative like iPhone case. We also created something very new, Limex with honeycomb. Here it is. It's 12 millimeter thick, but it's as strong as steel and aluminum, and it's much lighter. In fact, the strength of this 12 millimeter Limex with honeycomb is the same as 2 millimeter of aluminum and 1.6 millimeter of steel. Yet the weight is 1/3 of aluminum and 1/7 of steel. And you might ask, well, how about can you decompose this in the soil? That was a challenge with traditional Limex. And just to remind you that in order to measure if it's biodegradable or not, we have a compromised situation. Right now in the US and EU, if it's more than 90% biodegradable, we call it biodegradable. Can we do better than that? Yes, we can with Limex 2.0. Limex 2.0 is a marriage between limestone and PLA, which makes this thing 100% biodegradable and truly biodegradable because it is 100% going back to the earth. The market opportunity for this material is huge. $680 billion for paper industry, $1 trillion for plastic alternative, and much beyond that. If you want to join the future, please stop by our desk and you can get one of those business cards, of course made with Limex. Thank you.
Thank you, Dai. Yeah, we can go. Next up, we have Lynn Grove and we have Joseph here.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Joe, CEO of Lynn Grove. We make wood without trees. These are my kids at Sequoia Park recently. My son Elias asked, how is it these trees grow 30 stories? And the answer is because they have the stiffness to weight ratio of steel. That is, the wood inside these trees is as strong as steel. And so old growth wood remains the ideal material for our interiors and our exteriors. Unfortunately, 90% or so of these trees are gone forever. This is a non-renewable resource, and it's a $50 billion poached market as well. So supply is going down, prices are going up, and in this, Lynn Grove has our opportunity to make a better than wood replacer, and it starts with flax, the stiffest natural fiber. CO2 negative, requires no irrigation. It grows in 100 days versus 300 years for old growth wood. And there's plenty of flax. Canada grows the most for seeds and throws away the stalk. We use the stalk, we extract our fiber from the stalk in this continuous process, and we blend it with our bio-based recyclable resin and make a better than wood alternative that we call ECOA, wood without trees. ECOA comes in rolls. Once layered into a mold, makes a structural product like this sink that we made for the largest plumbing fixtures company. You see that the wood is molded in 3D. That's why this company came into us, and we're working with some of the largest furniture companies as well. We're the only company that offers 3D moldable wood today. Plugs into mass production processes similar to plastics manufacturing. But it's much stronger than plastic. In fact, it's 10 times stronger and stiffer than wood. So this is a very high performance solution. We have traction today in sports equipment. This is a fly rod. In guitars, With the beauty of wood, Blackbird has made 1,000 instruments using ECOA. And we have an LOI with the largest office furniture company, Steelcase, making a chair product. We're currently at $3 a square foot, which is competitive with carbon fiber, scaling in interiors to $2 a square foot, an $80 billion total addressable market, including commercial, residential, and transportation. And eventually, we want to tackle construction at $1.50 a square foot, which represents an opportunity that's huge market-wise, but also to reduce CO2 emissions by 2/3. We have an issued patent making structural panels and a non-provisional continuation on that patent, as well as trade secrets up and down the process. I started my career in composites 15 years ago at Ferrari and took the first product to market. We have plenty of very experienced advisors, industrial scaler, with experience industrial scaling, and we'll have continuous material by the end of this year. Please find me after the event to learn more about our seed fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Our final startup in the sustainability session is Colorifix. Dr. Oriarconi just flew in from England, too.
Thanks, Homer. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and given the time is short, I will just delve into Colorifix and what we do. So we developed a new way of dyeing fabrics using synthetic biology. We engineer organisms to do the process for us. And quickly going through how this works, we used natural pigments to dye our clothing for thousands of years until the 19th century, where we started to industrialize. And that's when we moved away from these because they are problems in consistency, stock availability, and reproducibility. And we grew this industry to being the 3rd largest consumer of water and 2nd largest polluter of water on the planet. This also means it's an enormous industry at $2.7 trillion a year and selling about 80 billion articles of clothing a year. So what do we do that's different? We use synthetic biology. We find pigments that are naturally occurring in the world. We isolate the DNA of how that pigment is encoded in nature, and we actually transform our organism so it starts producing that pigment the same way that nature does, but in a much higher yield and higher efficiency. And using our proprietary process, we actually use the organism to dye fabric. So this sounds fairly complicated from a development point of view, but from operational, it's actually quite simple. So we grow our organism in fermentation conditions, just like you would beer. We use residuals from the sugar industry as a feedstock. Our organism starts producing the color, and then we can actually harvest the fermentation product directly, which is unusual for biotech, because normally you have to separate your product from everything else. And this is what makes us cost competitive. We're also compatible with most industrial dyeing machines, so we're basically a drop-in technology. You simply add a few residuals from biodiesel industry, and you can actually start dyeing your fabric. Everything goes into the fabric. We then remove the fabric from the liquid, and we fix it at a higher temperature very quickly. And by washing, we remove the residual biomass, having clean dyed fabrics. So this has significant impacts on the industry, as we save 90% on water, 20% on energy, and we completely remove the use of hazardous chemicals. Here's a snapshot of before, during, and after dyeing at the top. So one of the other great features is that we can dye an unprecedented range of materials, from natural, synthetic, and blended fibers. We can dye yarn, cloth, and garment stage. And this puts us in a very good place with regards to the competition, particularly when it comes to scaling, as everything we do has standard equipment, nothing new, and drop in. We have a new facility in Norwich, from where we're working with our new partners, Hermes, Kering, Hugo Boss, Adidas, and others. And we're currently looking to raise investment, form partnerships, and generate some revenue. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Or. Can I also have that? Thank you. So this was the last startup for us in the sustainability session. I hope this was enough to create an excitement and show you what we've been working on and crafting our sustainability track, along with our Amsterdam office and our Berlin office and Silicon Valley offices. So with that said, I see that, everybody is excited to hear more about startups. Yes? More startups? Okay, so we have another 17 startups, so we're just going to dive right into the new materials and packaging program now. With that said, can I have my new materials and packaging slides? Tessa? Okay, so as I said, new materials and packaging is a fairly new vertical. Everything started with ExxonMobil when they saw that we were running retail programs, retail innovation platforms here in Silicon Valley. And they said, Saeed, you've been working with us for 25 years, so why do we not have a new materials and packaging vertical, right, Dave? So, and then, we did an innovation day. The hype was great, so that's where we launched our program in November 2015. So, and this is a quick download and a breakdown of our categories that we operate in, and these are our partners that we have. Thanks to our, first of all, anchor partners who define the focus of our accelerator program. ExxonMobil is here, PepsiCo is here, Ravindra, and we have Sherwin-Williams. Unfortunately, our expo overlapped with their innovation day, so they couldn't come and join us from Cleveland. So in new materials and packaging, what do we work on? So it's a pretty broad term. Everything from packaging to substitutes of metal, ceramics, and glass, pulp and paper technologies, building materials, of course, chemicals, additives, adhesives, coatings is a big area for us, and also consumer electronics. And this is a breakdown of all of our partners, 18 partners, that we really appreciate their support. And our startups, more than we are delighted to be collaborating with you. So for the afternoon session, continuing with the new materials and packaging startups, in our batch number 5, we're graduating today. So can I get a big round of applause for our fantastic startups? All 17 of them have been diligently working on their product solutions in the past 3 months with us, but God knows how long, years, to be able to get to this stage and to be able to present right before your eyes. So I applaud them tremendously because of their courage and tenacity and their passion. So with that said, I would like to invite our first startup is Adrich, so Aditi. And Aditi and I, we actually share the same goal. In the future, when we retire, we both would like to open a dog shelter. So we're very passionate about dogs and our pets. You can actually see mine upstairs on the 3rd floor every once in a while. So, Aditi?
Thank you, Umar.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I don't mind retiring early. We are Adrich, and we are enabling a smarter way for you to connect to your consumers. So brands today have a lot of data, sales data, promotions data, but all of this ends at the retail store. There's no data or visibility once the product leaves the store. The consumer remains a mystery. And because they don't know what consumers want, 85% of new products fail. So we said, what if the products themselves could talk and tell the brands how, when, and where it's being used? We have developed the world's first connected smart label that collects and transmits usage data in terms of when it's being used, how often it's being used, and more importantly, when consumers run out and need more product. All of this data is autonomously collected into our dashboard, and we also enable a two-way communication between you and your consumers. So essentially, we have now established a direct feedback loop from your consumers to the brands with real-time, accurate usage data. This hardware-software solution combines to form what is called our post-sales data analytics platform. We are starting with market research applications, and we've had some pretty interesting insights. People run out of peanut butter between 10 and 11:30 in the night.
And millennials finish peanut butter in 4 days compared to Gen X, who take 10 days to finish it. And we are most excited with our recent partnership with a plug-and-play corporate partner, Tyson. We are helping them launch a new product into a new market category, and they're using our platform to get that direct feedback loop so they can quickly iterate on their product, position better, communicate better, and understand if their message is resonating. And that's not all. We are now partnered with Panasonic. Please check us out at their showcase. We are excited to partner with them and bring this innovation to their retail partners. We are here today celebrating early adopters of innovation, and we would love to partner. I'm Aditi Aji, founder and CEO of Adrich, and I have a rock star team with me who complement my skill set. We would love to tell you more. Please visit us at the demo table. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aditi. Congratulations again. So next up, we have Alchemy, and Kanjan is here. But before, I would like to remind you that we have the Line Apart, the same app that you used in the morning. We would like to have a People's Choice Award for our startups to be recognized today for their hard work. So I would like you to take a moment and then make sure that you vote on our app, as well as you use our Braille app. If you haven't already done so, please build your profiles, because our startups will be available at our demo tables inside in the game room or in our cafeteria in order to have one-on-one meetings with you. So we'll all recognize that these 3 to 4 minute pitches is not enough for you to understand the technology to the full extent. So if you'd like to have a more detailed discussions in our demo center, in the cafeteria again, and in the game room, please use the Braille app. I will be reminding you this maybe a couple more times as I get the note from my community manager, Lauren, here. So with that said, I would like to welcome Kanjan Alchemy to the stage.
Hi, I'm Kanjan Desai, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alchemy. As we work towards the age of autonomous vehicles, one key obstacle still remains unsolved: the physical reliability and weatherability of autonomous vehicle sensors. These sensors need to withstand impact from road debris, maintain clear vision during harsh rain and snow conditions, not require you to scrape every single sensor off of frost every winter morning, and maintain a high level of optical clarity if there are scratches on the sensor lens. In fact, the advanced driver assist systems that are integrated on the windshield of millions of vehicles today already suffer from these limitations. In fact, when one of these windshields suffers from a stone chip, the cost of recalibrating the sensors alone is driving the cost of windshield replacements astronomically high. At Alchemy, we're solving this problem with ExoShield. It's a thin, transparent film that can be applied on the exterior surface of the windshield of any vehicle. ExoShield is powered by a proprietary state-of-the-art nanomaterial that combines the high scratch resistance of glass with the high impact resistance of certain polymers. This hybrid nanocomposite allows ExoShield to be 6 times more abrasion resistant than our leading competitor and 6 times more impact resistant than a normal glass windshield. Since we launched ExoShield about 8 months ago, we've onboarded 135 independent stores all over Canada and USA. And next year, we're going to be adding another groundbreaking feature to ExoShield: the ability to completely passively prevent overnight frost formation and actively melt freezing rain and snow buildup. Sorry. Our nanotechnologies are also attracting interest from a variety of leading automotive manufacturers and suppliers. Today, we're helping them build ultra-durable sensor glazings, lightweight polymer windshields, and even improve the illumination of headlamp systems. But that's not, ExoShield's or Alchemy's nanotechnologies are just not limited to the automotive industry. We're also getting interest from a variety of other industries that are concerned about reliability and the weatherability of their materials, such as the defense sector and wearable electronics. Driving this progress behind the scenes is an experienced and talented team. Both myself and my co-founder are nanotechnology engineers with research experience at Harvard and MIT, and we're advised by experienced and reputable entrepreneurs with experience in nanomaterials, automotive sales, and venture capital. Again, my name is Kanjan Desai, and at Alchemy, we're pioneering the next generation of nanomaterials for autonomous vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanjan. Next up, we have Adrian from Diatomics, and I would like to correct what I said earlier, right before Alchemy, that the startup voting will be open at the end of this session. So during this time, please start thinking which startup you like the most, and then you will have one chance to vote at the end of this session. Thank you. Adrian?
Hello, I'm Adrian Polyak, CEO of Diatomics out of Portland, Oregon. We have developed a functional coating technology that improves the indoor air quality that you breathe. And it does that by absorbing, trapping, and then breaking down airborne chemicals, also known as volatile organic chemicals, to water and carbon dioxide, and then it repeats that process in a perpetual manner. So when we look at indoor air quality, it's at least 5 times worse than outdoor air quality. It is filled today with synthetic materials, our carpets, our wall paint, our furniture. All of these materials are synthetic. When we compare to how we lived 50, 100 years ago, we live in a structure or in structures that are just loaded with synthetic materials that off-gas. They include VOCs like formaldehyde and so forth. And we know that these VOCs are a strong causation of asthma, eczema, allergies, as well as neurological and cancer issues long term. We have a very strong management team. We have a lot of product development, scale-up, product launch, business development, and sales experience, primarily around the green chemistry sector. And I'm here today with Bill Byers, who's a senior process engineer with us. Our technology is quite unique in the way in which we synthesize the material. It essentially includes a titanium dioxide, a metal oxide, onto a diatomaceous earth structure. Diatomaceous earth is found abundantly in the soil and earth in various parts of the world. But we do that in a unique way. We have 12 patent applications right now around the world, but we also have a lot of trade secret around that process. And independent tests have shown that the material in high levels of formaldehyde and butanol can reduce the VOC levels by at least 90% in a 24-hour period. This was done independently on the East Coast. So our target markets, primarily at this stage, are paint and coatings, also household cleaners and air filters. And we're also beginning to look at wall and window coverings, sports, textiles, apparel, and as well as carpeting and agriculture. There are other markets as well that we just haven't begun to delve in yet. These are all very substantial markets, at least 250 billion collectively. Our state of development, we have done a lot in the past year. We're now selling in China. We're also in final stage negotiations with 2 multinationals, and in fact, we've made some really good connections right here at Plug and Play over the past 3 months. We've raised $1 million to date. We have an open round for $750,000 that's just opened. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adrian. So next up, we have Folio Water. And speaking of water efficiency and water recovery, water treatment, the startup can manufacture filters that could supply 15 million people clean water, clean drinking water for a year. Right, Terry? Maybe why don't you come to the stage and talk more about it?
You're doing a great job.
You know, I like your technology.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I'm going to skip half my slides now. So yeah, I'm the CTO and co-founder of Folio Water. And for those of you who might be a little rusty in your Latin, folia means leaves or paper in Latin. And we stress paper because we use paper mills to make our really affordable water filters. And so we have an industrial process patent that we filed on this and another patent related to the technology issued already. And what we bring with this is a way to make nanoparticles super cheaply on a paper machine. And so we don't actually buy nanoparticles. We buy the metals to make the nanoparticles on the actual paper equipment. And so the innovation that we have covers how to do this, and also not just with paper, but with textiles and other sorts of materials that are made on a reel-to-reel process. And because this is a very old industry, the paper industry, it's very scalable, and we're looking to make it into a consumer goods product. So the two of us, myself and Jonathan is not here right now, but he often is the person who gives the pitch. I'm actually the inventor, and I invented this during my PhD at McGill University, and did some more testing during my postdocs at UVA and Carnegie Mellon. And some of the other things that we're interested in, besides just water filters, are looking at all sorts of applications for nanoparticle contained in papers. And this could be anything that's antimicrobial or antifungal, perhaps catalysis and electrical conductivity. And as I said before, a lot of materials fall under our patent. So for instance, medical textiles could be a great application for this. But we've chosen to focus on the antimicrobial water filters, which kill bacteria as they filter through the paper due to contact with the silver. And we're going to create a 1 billion category for these water filters internationally. Our costs are extremely low. It's only 3 cents per filter and packaged at 7 cents each. Distributors will buy at 20 cents, and then it retails at 50 cents in shops internationally. So what we're here for is to see how we can work with such companies to have our product be be included in your product as an OEM, or perhaps IP licensing. And there we go. And our longer range goal is how to functionalize fibers to do more than just antimicrobial, such as perhaps absorb metals or do other sorts of very unique properties. And I guess I'm out of time, but thank you, and come to my table later if you're interested in other questions.
Thank you, Terry. So next up, we have Patty from Hexagon Inhibitors.
Hi there, I'm Paddy and I'm from Hexagon Inhibitors, and we exist because we've got a solution to an industry problem. And industry actually created the research project that started my doctorate. So why do we exist? We're here to replace hexavalent chromium. What is hexavalent chromium? It's also known as chromium-6. And this chemical is still widely used today, yet it was a subject of the film Erin Brockovich back in 2000 from a scandal of a town called Hinckley. It's about 5 hours away from here. It's an hour north of LA, and it's completely decimated by hexavalent chromate. It gave everyone cancer. The drinking water is still unsafe. They can't irrigate the land. The houses are now worthless. So this at the bottom here is a form of hexavalent chromate, and this is a pigment form. This is strontium chromate. And this is used in all these markets. So you're being surrounded by it if you came in a car today, when you fly on planes. It's used as a corrosion inhibitor. It's highly effective, highly toxic. But as you see, all these markets use it, and it's just from the bolts that are holding your car and the plane together to the paint that protects the outside. So what have we got? Our solution looks away from chemicals. We use a chemical, but we use it in an intelligent reservoir system. And this sits in the coating, and these are micro and nano pigments, and they sit in the coating, and they sense when they need to turn on and off. So it gives longevity to your product, a longer life cycle before recycling your product. And they sit there and they know when there's an activity that they need to release, and then they protect and stop any further damage. So this is our product. We're trademarked in Tele-Iron, and we're hoping to be the new global standard in anti-corrosion. We've had customer testing and approval in Europe. So in Europe, there's a legislation banning the use of hexavalent chromate. So this was meant to have stopped being used last September. It's been extended to January 2019. So there's a need in Europe. We've got industry pull in Europe. We've had drop-in replacement testing. We don't have any physical detrimental effects. We actually increase it in some places. We have 2 patents, registered trademark, and there's an IP pipeline going back a long way. So in the recent months, we've increased our process. We've simplified it. We're scaling now. We can make it cheap. We've done our particle sizing. This has led to an increase in performance. And in the UK, these are our funding partners, our awards. and our research partners that we're working with. But it's a global issue. So in the last 4 or 5 months, and by joining Plug and Play, we've been able to do global business development. We're now working with PPG, Sherwin-Williams, Magna International as potential customers, and then we're working as manufacturing and development partners, so Indestructible Paints for our formulation work, and Merck Chemicals as a business partner. So we've got a very strong team. Our chair, we've got a lot of finance. Owen at the top is very strong finance. Then coming down, we have myself and we have our non-exec directors for our fundings. And then at the bottom, then we've got our mentors and advisors. And these are experts in the corrosion world, the Welsh Government to help us grow, CEOs of chemical companies and Tata Steel directors. What are we looking for? Corporate partners to pilot technology, investment for growth, and manufacturing partnerships to support the rapid growth. Okay, thank you very much.
Patty, thank you very much for sharing your journey of success with Plug and Play. So next up, we have Chris, and it's going to be talking about Imagine Intelligent Materials, right? Yep. What you got for us there?
Well, you want me to get started? Please. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I used to be in the rock and roll business, and I signed a band called AC/DC, but that's neither here nor there, except that great is what makes great businesses, and I'm about bringing together the best talent there is. In science, we make materials conductive. We use the transformational power of graphene to make materials smart, to create an ability for every surface to communicate. These deliver groundbreaking gains for our customers, and they enable people who are our customers to meet their needs. They all have a similar requirement. They want to make innovation affordable, they want to differentiate, and they want to reduce risk. And that means you also have to make graphene affordable, and we've done that. It's a big, big market. Huge, huge opportunity, and here are some of our customers and applications. Smart roads. We've developed a sensing road that can measure traffic movement. We're working with Transurban, largest road operator in Australia, and YIT, largest road operator in Scandinavia. Developing smart ports for cargo tech in Finland. We're developing smart textiles, surfaces that can sense and be switches for Daimler, and doing something similar for large train companies. We're developing coatings that go on floors that will sense the people movement, and we're developing textiles that go into roofs and sense leaks. Our first customer, Geofabrics in Australia, the largest textile company in Australia, that product's used to go into tailings dams and reduce leaks. That's what this product is. Here's some video. Hopefully that will appear. So while that's happening, I'm just going to pass out some of these swatches. Please pass those around, and you can try them for yourself. Right now, we're doing a capital raising round. You can see the pressure sensing and leak detection here, and in a moment, you'll see our sensing road. We're doing a capital raising round, raising 3.5 million euros in Finland, which we will start in 2 weeks' time. And if anybody's interested in getting involved with us, please contact me. Very much like to have you involved. And that's the projected revenues from one market vertical, 160 million just from that first product. It's a big market, big opportunity. We're here to win it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Living Ink Technologies, and we have Scott here. If any of you play lottery, play with this guy because he's recently won twice in Massachusetts. He bought only one, and you hit twice, right? Both of them. Okay. I never win in lottery, so okay.
I'll take it.
So at Living Ink Technologies, we're developing sustainable printing ink using algae. So when you look around you, you realize ink is everywhere. And that ink is about 80% petroleum and 20% pigments. Those pigments are like carbon black, which is also derived from petroleum. And the other thing about ink on a package is even though it's a small percent of a package by weight, it's one of the most toxic components. So we have a problem. Human health hazards, environmental issues, not biodegradable, and using finite resources to make ink. So our solution is using sunlight and carbon dioxide to grow these little tiny algae cells. So the core of our technology is on the left is a petroleum-based pigment. It's about 1 micron in size, so very tiny. Our algae cells are about the same size. So we can use the entire algae cell as a pigment replacement. So value proposition, renewable, biodegradable, safe, and innovative. So I'm going to walk you quickly through our supply chain from algae biomass all the way through customer. So we don't grow our own algae. We work with algae producers around the world who give us biomass. We then use our process to turn those cells into a carbon black alternative. We've been doing all of our ink development in-house. So on the right is a standard carbon black traditional ink, and on the left is an algae ink. And we've been able to match performance characteristics both on paper and cardboard. We've been making small batches of ink at our company and selling that ink to printers. This printer is called EcoEnclose in Colorado. They use our ink like any other ink that they would use to print packaging like this. This is one of our printed products in REI's flagship store in Denver. We do have some existing customers that we've been working with to prove this out, but what's even more exciting are some of the larger corporates that have reached out to us, like SC Johnson and Unilever, where we're jumping into pilot runs with them. This is a quote from the lead designer at SC Johnson. "I truly believe this is the most exciting innovation I've seen in the ink industry in more than a decade," so it's not just me who's telling you it's exciting. Our timeline, we are grant funded till 2020 to do R&D, but we're looking for investment to help commercialize and scale this product. We got a well-rounded team of biologists, chemists, and business people. We've also brought on advisors that have worked at companies like HP and Sensient Technologies. So this is what I pitched to you today. Kind of we're proving this supply chain out. In the end, we want to basically be the pigment processor in color-based and doing color-based production, otherwise known as a dispersion, selling that to ink companies to then work with their customers. So this is where we'd fit in that supply chain. So call to action, private investment, and looking for corporate partners to do pilot runs. So thanks for your time, and maybe talk to you later on.
Thank you, Scott. We're going to take a short break, and we'll resume at 2:45 p.m. Please come back because we have 7 more fantastic startups to share their journey with you. Thank you. Sophia is here. Do we have the clicker? Yes, it's in my pocket. Hi.
I have so much stuff.
Yeah.
You want me to hold your water?
Great.
No, it's okay. Okay.
Sorry. I think she's
We transform.
Hello, my name is Sophia, COO of MesoFilter. Recently, I read the news. This bottled water has lots of microplastic inside. It's very bad for your health. Our products can remove this microplastic. MesoFilter is a high-tech material company. We design products for removal harmful contaminants from water, oil, and air. Nano means 2 to 50 nanometers. Meso means 2 to 50 nanometers. A natural clay has been fired and manufactured into mesoporous material with billions of hooks, which can filter, absorb, and immobilize the contaminants into the meso holes. We can see the picture before use. The holes open. After use, the holes are closed. The contaminants are sealed into the holes permanently without leach. Meso knows technology. Each meso hose has billions of hooks, which can capture and seal the heavy metals, block and hook the bacteria, cut and kill the viruses. NSF presents this new category universal filtration material. We have 6 product lines: Biopottery, Meso Granules, LLP Cleanser, MSP Meso Absorber, Water Pitcher, and Meso Paper. Meso Paper and Water Pitcher has received NSF 53 International Certificate. Our products can remove arsenic, lead, uranium, chlorine, fluoride, bacterial viruses, microplastic, and other toxic contaminants, heavy metals from water and oil, and PAHS, benzene, PM2.5 from air. Recently, we launched our revolutionary products called Meso Paper. This one is very powerful. For example, 9 by 9 inch square meso paper can filter 5-gallon waters with 200 ppb arsenic and lead and 7 gallons of tap water. It is very simple, easy to use. No chemicals, pressure, energy, plastic added. No wastewater generated. It's all natural product made from bamboo and clay. It's safe, biodegradable, and it's for recycle and landfill. It can save more than 80% total cost compared with current existing technology. For example, carbon block and PO system. Our product can be used to treat lake pollution, groundwater purification, industry wastewater. For example, BCB planning, mining site industry, wastewater, food industry, fish farming, agriculture, household travel, outdoor water purification, highway runoff control, air filtration, HVAC, mask and hazmat suits, emergency response such as disaster relief, personal emergency kit, and also nuclear wastewater treatment. Our business model, B2B, B2C, and licensing. We have a great team with more than 20 years experience. Don is our CEO, also tech inventor. He got 2006 EPA awards, also University of Hawaii, Best Top Tech Awards. And our advisory board is Stanford University professor. Also, Dr. Atkins is a former general manager in Hughes. Currently we have 260 customers and 3.5 million revenues last year. We have 12 patents granted and 3 patents pending. We are looking for $10 million to standardize our production line. This is a B-run, also for marketing. Our mission is bring clean water and air to anyone, anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. Next up, we have Polydrop. Bola?
Hello, everyone. My name is Volga Hrečka, and I'm a co-founder of PolyJob. At PolyJob, we create conductive polymers that could be used in a variety of different applications, including silica tires and anti-corrosive materials. With our systems, we reduce carbon black and heavy metals by 70%, and we also reduce production time in case of silica tires by 60%. We work, as I mentioned, in a variety of different applications. It covers, for example, coatings for easy packaging, additives to nitrile latex gloves, anti-corrosive additives, as well as textiles in flooring. What we do the best with our team is we custom design our materials for specific customer applications. So we work on one-to-one basis with each customer. We try to understand their problem very well, and we try to design a material that specifically meets their customer specifications. We work on joint development opportunities as well as NRE basis. Where we are today is we work with about 10 tire manufacturers for silica tires. Silica tires are extremely fuel efficient, so they provide about 12% of fuel efficiency per car. And we enable processability as well as conductivity for silica tires. We did 4 pilot projects with 2 of them are successful, 2 of them are still running, and we're currently negotiating 2 joint development agreements with tire manufacturers. We also work with about 20 specialty chemical companies, again, on different applications in non-exclusive basis. We currently have 3 pilot projects with them, including easy packaging and latex and nitrile gloves. We have about 2 distributors in Asia Pacific region, and we sell our products worldwide. Our team has about 35 years of experience in elastomers as well as polymer science field. We just hired John Long, who is a veteran of silica, introduced silica into tires. And our director of innovation, Natalie Merrill, she has experience working and scaling out products in big companies like Honeywell, PolyOne, and ExxonMobil. Our business advisors help us negotiate contracts as well as raise our funding. What I am looking for here is joint development opportunities from corporate partners, scale-up partnerships, and looking to close our angel round. We raised about $300,000, and we're looking to raise another $200,000. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be happy to see you near our booth. Thank you.
Thank you, Bola. Next up, we have Pure Thread. Jennifer is here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm from Pure Thread Technologies, and we're based in Research Triangle Park, North Carolina, and we're thrilled to be a part of Plug and Play. So the headlines are all around us these days. MRSA lives on the seat back of airplanes for up to a week. 97% of reusable grocery bags are never washed. We just learned recently that the nurses here at Stanford Hospital are thinking about going out on strike because they're afraid of the infection levels in the hospital. And it costs real lives. We had someone named Mike Strader who came and knocked on our door to thank us for the work we're trying to do because he lost his newborn son to a MRSA infection before he could even leave the hospital. Norovirus continues to plague the cruise ship industry. Healthcare-acquired infections have a real cost. 99,000 deaths per year in the United States alone. That's more than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. It's a $20 billion annual cost. So what's our solution? We're Pure Thread. We have a patented antimicrobial, meaning germ-fighting, yarn technology that has greater than 99% of efficacy against bacteria, mold, mildew, and fungus. We embed a recycled silver salt into the polymer at the molten level, so it doesn't wash away, it doesn't wear off. We've taken things through 100 industrial launderings. We're very compatible with bleach. And we've got a great team that combines decades of experience in healthcare and textiles. We just had 2 patents issued. We're starting to get some traction in the marketplace, and we're thrilled to be able to talk to corporate partners here. Our scrub partner, Fit Scrubs, was just featured on Grey's Anatomy. We've partnered with local apparel startup Clean Apparel. We have a bedding partner that's getting some traction on QVC, and we're thrilled about a new distribution partnership we just signed with Mitsui for Japan. At PureThread, we're fans of third-party data. We like to prove it. Renowned microbiologist Dr. Charles Gerba of the University of Arizona, the media frequently call him Dr. Germ. He issued a challenge to PureThread. The industry standard is 99.0% efficacy rate in 24 hours, and he believed that PureThread could rise to the challenge, so he issued us a 2-hour and 4-hour challenge window, which, as you can see here, we noted some great efficacy against some tough pathogens out there, such as MRSA, E. coli, Salmonella. And so PureThread is a next-generation technology. We're not a topical coating. We don't wash away or wear off. We can last through multiple wearings, multiple washings. People have worn garments with PureThread for 30 days in the South in the heat in August. And so with that durability comes sustainability efforts as well. We can aid in garments that can be worn longer, washed less, use less water, use less energy. So the next time you are checking into the hospital or check into your flight or your hotel, think about ways in which PureThread can protect your world, and we'd love to work with corporate partners here to drive their businesses. Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. So next up, we have Throughput. Albert will be pitching.
Thanks, Omer. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Albert Cow, Chief Throughput Officer at Throughput. Thank you for having me today. We are human-machine augmentation software providers for business process improvement. Before I get started today, I'd just like to thank all the corporate partners here, as well as the entire plug-and-play team for being an absolute pleasure to work with the past 3 months. A quick intro to our team. So our CEO, Ali Raza, and our CTO, Kizar Hyatt, they came from industry working in supply chain operations and manufacturing engineering at the likes of Toyota, Schlumberger, and GlaxoSmithKline. My background is in early-stage software startup sales. While Kizar and Ali were in industry, they were baffled by the reliance of demand forecasting. The reliance on demand forecasting, especially given how inaccurate demand forecasts are. So we asked ourselves, if it's so ineffective, why does everyone keep doing it? There must be a better way. So we went out and did 8 years of R&D and took the best concepts from Toyota Production System, Lean Six Sigma, Total Quality Management, and combined that all on a machine learning platform that we call Eli. Eli takes process cycle time data as well as inventory data to improve lead times for businesses. In the past 3 months, we've started working with a multi-billion-dollar manufacturer on a proof of value. And our clients and our plug-and-play corporate partners have also helped us define our core use cases and our product vision. Our most popular use cases are discrete manufacturing optimization and inventory management. So what does Eli output? At Throughput, we don't believe in visualizations, as they can be quite confusing. Rather, we provide data, interpretation, and strategy recommendations in plain English, as well as smart KPIs for your teams to implement. In our developmental case studies with 12 different companies, we found that Eli has a 100% ability to identify and eliminate bottlenecks and is 600 times faster than existing methods of analysis. And lastly, Eli is ready to deploy today. We're looking to work with corporates on proof of values. We'll take one use case, one user on your end that will only take 2 hours to train up, and it only takes 1 day to set up the proof of value. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Albert, and the Throughput team. So next up, we have Shuf Technologies. Their CEO, Riot, is here.
Hi, everyone. Shuf is a wireless connectivity company. mainly for tracking and monitoring assets that are in motion. So monitoring means what's the condition of my assets? Is it in motion? Is it standing still? What's its temperature? Tracking is where is my asset exactly? So as you're trying to automate your facility today, you notice there's been a lot of innovation in the platform, the software platform, where it runs AI or machine learning or blockchain. But then when you go and you try to deploy it, you find out quickly that one of the biggest challenges is getting the data from the physical asset to the cloud, which is basically digitization of the physical asset. So for us being wireless guys, we looked at this market. It's approaching about $1 trillion in size, and we thought that it deserved its own wireless connectivity. Why are they still using 20-year-old connectivity, be it GPS-based or cellular or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth? None of it was meant to do something of this scale, something that is maintenance-free, and something that is very low cost. It's not the first time that we create a brand new connectivity. 12 years ago, we created a connectivity for all the utility meters. We deployed over 30 to 40 million of them worldwide, and it became so popular that it turned into a standard, and that became known as the Smart Grid Standard. So that standard is a very good connectivity for fixed asset because it sits on the wall and it takes power from the wall, and you don't need to know where it is because you know where the house is. 12 years later, we started CHU for assets in motion. So basically, the way our product works is that you take our tag and you put it on the physical asset, and that is the last time you have to deal with it for 10 years. You don't have to recharge the battery or replace the battery or bring it back to reprogram it. Everything is done over the air. So it's maintenance-free. It's scalable up to 100,000 per installation, as well as it's the only technology that exists today that works indoor and outdoor. Our mission is to be the source of data worldwide, globally for all industrial IoT platform. We've had our latest raise of round, which was a seed round, led by Kleiner Perkins. So we have very good financial support, and we were way oversubscribed on that round as well. Our vision is today, when you walk into a cafe or a restaurant or a Starbucks, the first thing you ask for is, do you have Wi-Fi? 10 years from now, when you walk into a port, into an airport, into a facility, into manufacturing or distribution, you ask, do you have CHU? Because you have assets that needs to send data back to the cloud, and you need the asset to go through the transaction and complete the transaction. Thank you very much.
I love the catchy taglines, all right? So, and we're very proud to announce that Shift Technologies recently raised a seed funding of over $4 million. So very happy with them. Congratulations. So next up, we have Hollis Deepak is here.
Thank you. Talking about catchy taglines, we use carbon negative materials, and I'll talk a little bit about what that means. This bottle here, this chemical sells for $10,000 a kilogram. It's used in cosmetics. We made $1 million worth of it in a week at a price point which was 90% lower than the number I just mentioned. That's the power of synthetic biology, and we're bringing that to manufacturing of chemicals, materials, polymers, which are carbon negative. What I mean by carbon negative is, with our process, we take plant material and put it through our microbes, specialized microbes, which will eat that plant material to make high-performance polymers and chemicals. Similar to those used to make this carpet. And because you're not going to burn this carpet, it's holding the CO2 fixed by the plants, i.e. carbon negative. The way we go from plants to things like this carpet is by integrating innovations in synthetic biology, chemical catalysis, full-scale process development from lab pilot to demo scale, and all of it has a back end of high-throughput screening and automation and data analytics. And this systems level approach allows us to bring new manufacturing processes to market at a price point significantly lower than what is possible by incumbent technology. This is a case study for a specialty additive in a polymer manufacturing system. Really interesting molecule for a range of different applications, but it's fairly expensive to make today. With our process at scale, we can produce it at less than half the current process can do. And that's what enables us to access this market fairly rapidly, and not just that, further expand into newer applications. This is the scale at which we have demonstrated the process. It's an independent third-party facility. We partnered with the National Renewable Energy Lab in Denver, where we showcase this technology at demonstration scale, producing about 100 tons of this product per year capacity. Our next scale-up is about 2,000 tons a year. We're working with a corporate partner right now to build this facility and bring this to market. As we scale the technology further, we'll be looking at expanding that production capacity another 10x over the next 5 years. To summarize again, we bring in our systems level capability in catalysis and biology to make a range of different applications, disrupting the multi-billion-dollar specialty chemicals market. And our team has over 100 years of combined experience, starting over 10 companies in chemicals, materials, and biology space. And we have been backed by $10 million in funding through government grants. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. We're not done yet. So we have one more startup, Vizru. Charlie's here. Take us home, man.
Thanks, bud. So the good news is, I guess I'm the last startup between you and the alcohol, right? So let's make this condensed and straight to the point. So my name is Charlie, and I lead the business development team at Vizru. And at the core of what we do is we want to be your all-in-one digital transformation suite. And let's talk about what that means. So everyone's talking about how we want to modernize your customer experience. We want to automate processes. We want to transform our core infrastructure. But unfortunately, these things are just a dream for a lot of institutions, simply because there's underlying issues like, how do I deal with my legacy system? How do I deal with regulations and governing bodies, depending on the industries you are in or even where you are at, the countries that you live in, right? So we look at this problem in a holistic manner, and we want to address it using our software. So there's three things that we want to talk about when we talk about digital transformation. And we want to say that we're a codeless app platform to address these core problems. First of all, how do you deal with customer experience? Well, we say we have a technology in our suite that allows you to tap into any existing medium, existing endpoints for you to express your application. Secondly, our AI workflow allows you to not only design, but orchestrate and reimagine your existing business flow so that it becomes more dynamic not only for today, but for tomorrow. And then lastly, our data hub allows you to connect into your existing infrastructure without having to uplift, reroute, or re-engineer your infrastructure. More importantly, we can tap into any applications you have in your ecosystem that you've already built natively and allow that to work in a more succinct and harmonious way. So how do we do that? Well, the product that we give you is Ario. Ario is a bot that Vizru has branded. And we said that Ario becomes your augmented employee. Ario is smart, she's intuitive, and she speaks to you in your native language and your native protocol, right? And Ario is designed not only to tackle today's issue, but to be able to scale out for the future. She can be very basic to answering general questions, but she can be actually very smart if you design her to do so. So anything from handling simple tasks, simple questions like a general bot, to more complex things like claims management and IT help desk, Ario can handle that for you. The technology I speak to you about today is actually not in theory. These are some of our production customers, some of which are on their second to third year. They've deployed REO in different use cases across different vertical. So really, you're only limited to your imagination. And then why Visru? Well, we don't want to sell you another platform or another software. We want to be your solution provider. So at the end of the day, you bring us in, and we give you a finished product. I think I've already touched on this. And then the last slide. Our guarantee is within 6 weeks, we'll give you an MVP, a minimum viable product that you can play and work with. And we've been successful at this every single time. So thank you for your time, and enjoy your drinks.
Thank you, Charlie. So that's a wrap. But, you know, what I would like to say is, on February 1st, we collectively selected these guys to be in our accelerator program for 3 months. I remember vividly how they were, what they were doing only 3 months ago. And seeing their progress and their collaboration with you on those slides where they have all of those big corporate name logos there. That's what makes us really proud, because they shared their journey with us. Again, like, you know, as I said during the opening remarks, that I applaud their courage and tenacity a lot, because I have to be honest, I never had that courage in me. So whenever I see these guys, I just show them tremendous respect. So with that said, I would like to thank you very much for your attendance. Before we go into taking photos, etc., like the closing remarks, I would like you to take out your phones, go to the link on the Line App R. It's the back of your badges. You can find the link. And I would like you to vote for your startup, which resonated with you the most, which was the most remarkable, or throughout this 3-month journey, you have collaborated with them. Please just give us your feedback by just touching one button. And I know that once we announce the People's Choice, they will really appreciate it. My colleagues will be giving me the winner of batch number 5. And again, this was a great 3-month journey. I look forward to them, even though doing more fantastic stuff with our corporate partners.
We transform algae into sustainable printing products.
We create polymers that conduct electricity, and we are shockingly good.
At Folio, we make the world's first water filter that costs pennies.
We develop connected smart packaging.
We're pioneering the next generation of windshields for autonomous vehicles.
We are very excited to be here today, because this is it. We're going to present and see if we can get into a larger network.
Everyone's busy, the startup people are busy, corporate people are busy, but to bring them into the same location where everyone's been vetted and there's some potential, I think is critical for startups to be successful.
Being able to connect with corporations that close, that's a great chance. I appreciate that.
It was very exciting. Some amazing connections that I made, and we were selected for 3 different verticals: brand and retail, new materials, and food and beverage. And I look forward to the next steps in terms of partnerships and strategic acquisition.
Plug and Play is an opportunity to engage with American industries and markets, and hopefully ignite some sort of interest in people who may see the potential of our replacement systems.
All right, looks like we have another 30 seconds to announce the winner. Let's see if I can spot them here. Lauren is running to help me out. I think our winner startup has already started networking out there, so which is a good sign. Let me see. Again, what did you guys think about today? Everything is good? Well, Charlie, unfortunately you were wrong, because now I am the person between alcohol and them. So unfortunately, I had to take it from you, man. Is Lauren here? Tessa, do we have any updates? Okay. What we can do is, let's give it another 30 seconds. Ariel? Okay. They're coming over? Okay. Is it good? Okay. Our startup winner for New Materials and Packaging batch number 5 is Adrich.
Thank you, Mark.
Congratulations. Would you like to say a couple words?
Well, thank you all. It's an exciting time to be here. And of course, from the time we started, I keep telling the whole Plug and Play team that it's been an amazing experience. A lot of times, the early adopters need to have a different frame of mind to actually adopt new technologies. And that's something that all of the corporates here have had that mentality, and that has helped us get through some of the challenges. And I really want to thank all of you for helping us validate the technology and get it to commercialization. And like I said, we'd love to work with you. So thank you so much. This is great.
In the future, I don't know why I was reaching out to your gift, so maybe I just saw what you got, so I'm a little bit jealous. But you know, thank you very much, Aditi, and the rest of our startups, because we're going to be hearing a lot about them in the future, hopefully with all your help. And with that said, I would like to wrap up today, and I would like to invite all of our startups to the stage so that we can take a batch photo, and then we're going to take a photo with our corporates as well. So make sure that we're here. Yeah. And then for our corporate partners in New Materials and Packaging, after we take the photo, Lauren will be exiting you from this door into our San Francisco conference room. You have some goodie bags that we have prepared for you as well.